I was up near a popular dam up North Grand Rapids area, and a lot of people like to go there and sightsee and just see the beauty, and a great place to have a picnic this time of year, just go sit and be with friends and family. And that's up at the Rockford Dam. I'll tell you, if you ever get over in the Grand Rapids area and you got a little bit of time, take a trip up to the Rockford Dam in Rockford, Michigan. And there's a dam there, and water comes down over the spillway, a couple of them, and it's just sun hits it when the sun's out, and it just sparkles like jewels. I just sit there and love to listen to it and see it. But there's a lot of people up there, and that's a great place to be used of the Lord, to minister one-on-one to people, or to leave some seeds of the gospel. And so that's primarily what I went up there to do. I'm always looking for opportunities to minister one-on-one to people, but if not, I'm going to leave some seeds. And so I felt to leave some real life story veteran editions up there, and of course the Jesus Did It track goes in each and every one of them. So I was in one specific area and put a couple of different editions out on a boardwalk area for people to walk by and pick up. I've done that over the years, different places, and monitored, and people pick them up. The Lord moves certain people to pick them up, and we never hear a whole lot of what happens after that, but that's okay. That's God's business. So I put some books out, and I was walking back to my car. I was basically done up in that area. I was going to move to another location, and this young couple was walking back to their car, and they were a ways away, and all of a sudden, the gentleman, his name was Drew, I believe Drew, if I remember name correctly. He peeled off from his girlfriend and walked around some railing area and came over, and he said, "I just want to thank you for your service." I had my Vietnam hat on, and he said, "Well, thank you for your service." And I graciously thanked him. "Well, thank you, sir." And he said, "Well, God bless you." And I thought, God bless me. Not many people say that. They'll say, "Thank you for your service," but don't say, "God bless you." And so I said, "Are you a vet?" Or, he was a little young, so I couldn't tell if he was a vet or maybe thinking about going into the military. He says, No, I'm not a vet." Didn't want to add any more to that. And he said, "Well, what's going on?" He kind of was stumbling for the right words, and I said, "Well, I'm putting out testimony books for people to take, and if they want, it's Christian publication, non-denominational, and it's Christ-centered, and how God has worked mightily in the lives of vets, former vets, and reached out in their time of need, and Jesus has helped them, and they're just sharing it publicly, and the gospel message is presented." He said, "Well, that's pretty exciting." I said, "How about if I give you a copy?" Because I left all the other copies down there on the boardwalk. And so I walked right over, wasn't far, to my car, and I opened up the trunk of the car, and there in the trunk of the car, where the box of books was a folder of the Jesus Did It flyers. Okay, had a little box of those, and he took one look at that. He said, "Wow, now I'm really into that. Jesus did it." And I said, "Wow." I said, Are you a Christian perchance?" He said, "I sure am. Me and my girlfriend, we love Jesus." Well, that tells me we got a couple of passionate people for God here. And I said, "Well, how would you like to have a few of these to pray about handing out?" He said, "Yeah, I love them." And so I handed him a stack of the Jesus Did It flyers. He was glad to get them. He hadn't even read it. He said, hey, if it's a gospel message, let me have it. We'll put it out as the Lord leads. So then he said, you know, I just feel to pray for you. Can I pray for you? Yeah. I don't know that anybody has done that as I've been out and about putting out Jesus Did It flyers or, you know, testimony books with Jesus flyers in them. So he prayed a very powerful, I think, Holy Spirit anointed prayer that God would encourage me to continue to put out the gospel message in the highways and byways and lead me where God says to go, and how many flyers to put out, books to put out, or minister to people. He just prayed a generic prayer, but that God would bless me in what I do. And that just was very special to me.